Hello and welcome to my channel On the Hook Crochet, where we talk about wearable crochet style. And let's find out what's been on the hook. Lots of things on the hook. I have lots of projects in the works, some completed, a couple of announcements, some happy mail. So grab your favorite crochet project. I know you're working on something. If not, start something, chain it up and go. And let me chat with you for a few minutes. Just wanted to touch base. I was out of town yesterday. I apologize. I said I would be back on Wednesday, but today is Thursday and it's morning, and I thought, well, I'll just get on and do what I was going to do yesterday. I hadn't planned to be out of town, but I had to go, and I got back kind of late last night, and I finished a project that I've been working on diligently for a couple of days. And I wanted to go ahead and finish that before I made a video so that you could see the finished object. So I'll talk about that in 1 second. But right now, I'm not a happy mail girl. I did go to my post office box a couple of days ago, and I found all kinds of things in my post office box. Thank y'all so much. You're very, very sweet to send me some Christmas cards. And I'm just going to hold them up, and I'm going to say who sent them, only first name and city-state. So that would be Debbie from Dexter, Maine, Pamela, Conowongo Valley in New York, Cindy from Caribou, Maine, and Sandra from Winter Haven, Florida. Thank you so much. Those are beautiful cards, and they will go with my Christmas cards that I have a collection of every year. I have a little basket that I put them in, and I get to look through them and remember who sent them to me. And on the back, I always staple the return address so that I can remember who they're from. And next year, I might want to send a card to them as well. So thank you so much for those. I also received 3 little presents in the mail, and I want to show these to you real quick. This is a really pretty stitch marker, a little heart on there. I can always use a stitch marker. And this was from Nikki's Crochet Nook in Amarillo, Texas. I hope you don't mind, Nikki, that I said your name, but it looked like a business address. So that was from Nikki. Thank you so much. Beautiful stitch marker. I will make good use of that. Also, I received looks like a tree ornament that is handmade. Isn't that cute? Look at this. I love this. This is so pretty. It's obviously hand crocheted. It has some beads crocheted right into it. And it has a little circle that it must be a curtain ring or something in there that they're crocheting around. But this is from Mary Ann in Fort Myers, Florida. And Mary Ann, thank you so very much. That will go on my tree this afternoon. I'll take it in there. And her business name is Yarn Happens. I don't know if that's an on-site website, YouTube. I thought I would mention your name in my video. So thank you, Mary Ann, so much for that. Beautiful Christmas ornament. And from Nan's Next Knots, and that would be Nancy Gorse. She has a YouTube channel, Nan's Next Knots, and she has sent me stitch markers in the past, and thank you, Nancy, for that. And I know I got one in my post office box the other day, and here it is. Is that gorgeous or what? And she said it reminded her of the sparkly times at Christmas, and I totally agree. That is so beautiful, and I will use that. Nancy, thank you so much for that. Thank you all for your well wishes and for your Merry Christmas email. Also, some comments down below my videos. Y'all are very sweet to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I say the same to you, and happy crocheting for 2020. I hope you have lots of wonderful projects, and I'll be bringing some projects to you as well that you might want to try. Now, let's get down to our crochet chat. Tomorrow is Happy Friday, and I will be selecting 3 names from the YouTube comment picker for a free pattern from my Etsy shop. So if your name is selected, you will receive a free pattern. You can just shop on Etsy and send me an email, tell me which pattern you'd like to have, and I will send you the PDF directly from me. So that happens tomorrow. Today, I wanted to talk about a couple of things that I've received. I did receive, of course, the Knit Crate box, which everybody's probably already talked about on YouTube. But I received it and I thought, you know what? I really like the pattern for the scarf that was in the Inspirations book. This is the Inspirations book for December of this year. And this young lady is wearing a scarf. I don't need those on there, but I do like the scarf pattern. And so I went in and I worked up a little bit of it. Knit Crate sent 2 hanks of Vita Lana, very nice. It's called their Lofty DK, so it's a size 3. And the colorway that I received is Firewood. And this is a, looks like a brownish. It's almost purple though. It is kind of an interesting color, but it's a brown and white yarn. And the yarn is done in a chain style. I'm going to try to see if I can get that to focus. It's a chain type of yarn, and I really like it. It's so much fun to crochet with. And there were 2 hanks in the box. I've caked one because I wanted to start on this pattern. And the pattern is, it requires 439 yards of DK. And that was nice of them to put this on here. They put on there how many yards you would actually need. They sent 2 skeins, but you don't need all of the yarn. So let's see how many yards are on this Lofty DK. It says that there are 274 yards on the hank. So you would need, according to this, 439. So a little bit less than what they sent. You have a little bit left over if you made the scarf as it is described in the book. So I started it, and I want to show you this because for 2 reasons. I want to show you a mistake that I made that I'm going to have to rectify. And also just to look at the stitch pattern, and you might want to try it if you're receiving the Knit Crate box. If you're not, you might want to try that because it is a very nice quality box, a monthly subscription that you can receive. Knit Crate also offers a quarterly box with Malabrigo yarn, and I'll show you some of that in just a second. But it's really nice too. It comes every 3 months. This comes every month, and I've really been so pleased with 99% of the boxes. There was one I gave a little bit of fussy time to, but it was because I was disappointed that they weren't addressing the crocheters, and I did talk about that in a couple of videos. But this particular yarn is very, very soft. I will tell you what's in it. It is 48% merino wool, 20% baby alpaca, and 32% cotton, organic cotton. So it is very, very soft. And I wanted to show you the stitch pattern that is in this particular pattern that I received in the box. I hope you can see that. It's done in a little bit, almost like a cluster right there. See, there's a little bit of a cluster. And when you make a cluster in crochet, you generally do several tall stitches, and then you chain one to pull those stitches together at the top. And that's what they've done with this particular pattern. Now, if you'll see that I've got the side is pretty straight here. It starts way down here, and it actually lines up. I'll probably have to block this when I finish it, but if you'll notice, I mean, I was just going to town on this thing, and I actually put an extra cluster on this last row, and I have ripped this out to this point. I will probably have to rip it out back to this point because I put an extra cluster in the side. Now you'll see that here's the original row, and look how far out it came. I wasn't paying any attention. I was probably watching a football game, as I usually am, and it didn't turn out just right. So if you'll see that, I hope you can see that, I will be ripping this out, frogging it back to this point where I will take out that extra stitch, and then the scarf will go straight up, which is how it's designed. And it's also designed with a little triangle here at the bottom, and I thought I might try that. I don't really want the fur ball on there. I might put a tassel on it or something, but I do plan to make it as shown. Hopefully it will be a good length. I'll just decide on the length because you work on it side to side, so then you can make it as long as you want. So that's what I'm doing with this, and I'll probably take this to the symphony this weekend and work on it because it's a little bit mindless. After you get going on the pattern, it's not hard at all to make. And this is made with an eye hook. I really like it. I like the pattern. I'm going to try to finish that maybe this weekend, or I'll get a lot done on it anyway. So just wanted to let you know that. So let me talk about what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Friday Cardi. It's on my Etsy shop, and y'all have already seen it. I think a lot of you have bought this. It's really a fun project. It's not hard to make. And what I did was I made it out of a chartreuse color and a size 4 yarn. and I put a band around it in 4 or 5 rows of ribbed, a ribbed edging on it, and it goes all the way around the bottom and also around the sleeves. So you can use contrasting colors. And I use the chartreuse. I really like it. I like it with black, but I wanted to do something different. So I bought 6 balls of Knit Picks City Tweed that I had made the cobblestone sweater out of, and y'all have seen that. I've had a lot of comments about it. This is the brocade color, which is purple, and it's got a little bit of, looks like almost an off-white tweed, little pieces of yarn in there. That's the Donegal tweed that they talk about. It's woven in onto the yarn and gives it that tweedy look, and it's very, very soft. This is a very nice yarn. I like it. Now, my yellow cobblestone sweater was made from lemon curd, and it said heavy worsting on it. This is City Tweed yarn, Aran, and it is also a heavy worsted weight. And that's what that says, HW weight on there. And it is a very fat yarn. I would say it's approaching a 5. And when I made my cobblestone sweater, I felt the same way when I was working on it. It just seemed really fat. And I like it. It's very warm. It's a wonderful sweater. But I bought the brocade color because I wanted to do something different. And I'll probably put a black edging on this as well. I had considered maybe the shoreline color, which I really like with it. It gives it a very light feel, but I'm not sure I have enough of this particular yarn to make the trim as wide as I want to. So I don't know if that tail will wag the dog. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. And I'm going to make it with my Friday Cardi pattern, and as written. That's my plan. I hope I can get it done before it's too much of winter is gone, but that'll be another project in the works. But I wanted to show you that beautiful brocade yarn that I bought from Knit Picks. I really like it. I'm tempted to go out and buy this in the DK weight. They have all of their City Tweed colors in both heavyweight worsted and also in DK. So a DK weight yarn would be a better drape. It would make a lot nicer drape to a sweater. But I have so many sweaters in the hopper that I'm not sure I want to take on another one with wool, because winter will be 3 more months, and I would hope that I could get some wear out of it before the weather turns a little warmer in the spring. So this is my plan for right now. I haven't started it yet, so my mind might change before I get started on this. But I wanted to show you that because some people had asked me what I had ordered from Knit Picks, so I did. So I wanted to let you know about that. Now, for my finished object, I have been working on this little baby sweater for my grandson. Very cute little fella. And I used this yarn. It's the Red Heart in Prince color, P-R-I-N-C-E, not Prince, P-R-I-N-T-S. It's Prince, like Prince and Princess. Prince is the name of the color, and it's the blues and whites and a little bit of turquoise in there. Really pretty. It's very, very stripy. It's a size 4 yarn, and there are over 600 yards on the ball, so I had plenty to make the sweater. And actually, I did the calculation, and I figured out how many yards per ounce this particular yarn was. It was 10 ounce total, and there were 678 yards on the skein. I figured that each ounce was 67.8 yards. I used 7 ounces because I had 3 ounces left. I weighed it on my little scale in my other office, my husband's office, and it weighed 3 ounces, and so I used 7 ounces, which means I used 475 yards to make this little sweater. Now the sweater, that's a lot of yards, 475 yards, but the sweater also has a very large hood, and it's a long sweater. It's really large. It's more like a jacket. I'm really going to just tell my daughter this is a jacket. It's not really a sweater, but let me just show it to you. It turned out really cute. This is the body of the sweater. I put just little white buttons on it because I tried blue and they just kind of disappeared on there, so I thought I would use white. This is what it looks like. I've got all the ends sewn in. It's ready to be given as a gift. Here's the other side. Here it is down at the bottom. Everything lined up pretty well. And I wanted to show you the hood. The hood is so cute. Now his little head's going to go in here like this. And it's got these two little ears on here they're just so cute. I really thought that was a cute idea. Now it's actually all symmetrical. I measured and everything. In the picture it looks like it's a little bit off. That's because my finger was in there. But this is what it looks like in the front. And I've got it buttoned up here. And I wanted to show you a pattern design feature that I thought was really nice. I've seen lots of sweaters with hoods and they come straight up and then over and then you sew them here. And if you've made a baby sweater with a hood, you know what I'm talking about. Or even a woman's sweater or a cape or something. But this pattern actually around the neck in the back, and I want to show you this. This is the last row of the sweater. And then when you start the hood, the first row you increase about this far around on the back. So it gives it, I'll see if you can see that, it gives it a little boost in the back so that it's more of a round hood instead of a straight up hood like that. It has increases right in here, right there, so that when you crochet it, it's a little bit bigger in the back and it comes around more like in a ball shape, which is the shape of a head. And you can also, because the hood is a good size, what I'm going to suggest to my daughter is that she can roll the front of this hood back just a little bit, put a little head in there like that, and it gives it a little bit of a an edging right here. It does. You don't have to. You can wear it just like that. But if it's a little bit too big for him at first, she can roll the top back and still have a really cute little hood on it. I just thought that was adorable. And the yarn, not my favorite, but it's very, very stripy. Very stripy. But because it's made from the top down, the stripes do line up pretty well at the shoulder area. So you can see that. The stripes follow around to the front. So it's not an exact match in the front, obviously, because you're using up your yarn and the stripes are changing. But around the shoulders and the sleeves, the stripes kind of match up. So it's not, they match up right here, excuse me. Where the front of the sweater and the sleeve match, the stripes match as well. So that was okay with me. See how that matches up. It's okay. Not my favorite yarn, but it was a nice value because I only had to buy one ball of this, and I actually had some left over. So if you bought 2 balls, you'd probably have enough for 3 sweaters maybe. So anyway, that's my finished object. I really like it. Now, next on the docket, I said that I might make another little sweater for him in brown. So I might find some yarn down in my craft room. Now that I know how many yards it took, I can easily find some yarn and maybe whip him up another one. And what I'll probably do is not make it quite as long, and I might not put the hood on it. I might just put a collar on it and make him a little hat or something. I don't know. It just depends. But this is how it looks in pink. Same look, same yarn, it's just pink. And I used the blue. So here it is right here, another picture of it. And I'll insert a picture of mine right here. So I just wanted you to see that. I really like the pattern. I do. The one thing it doesn't do is have any kind of a finished edge on it. And I made it just like it said. And actually when you button the buttons, you just button them into the double crochets. See, there's no buttonhole on this sweater. There are no buttonholes. I just put buttons on it, and they pop through the double crochets very easily. So that made it a little bit quicker to make. I'm not sure I like the edging. There really isn't an edging on it, but it's kind of a raw little sweater. It doesn't have a lot of fancy things on it, and I really didn't want it to have a lot of fanciness on it, so I just made it as it was. I always make a pattern the way it shows the first time in most cases. I also want to show you a magazine that I received, Crochet World. Love it, love it. There are some really cute patterns in here. What they're actually doing is starting on Valentine's Day. Okay, it's not Christmas yet, but this edition, and let me look on the front, this is for February 2020, and I'm receiving it in December. But I guess it's a quarterly. I'm not really sure. I get several crochet magazines. But these are the patterns that are in this particular magazine. And they have hearts on them. There are a lot of them done in red and pink. And I have plans to do a Valentine's sweater. I already have the yarn for it, and I haven't developed the pattern yet, but I'm thinking about after Christmas already, because Christmas will be here on Wednesday, and then we're going downhill. We're going all the way down to, I think the next holiday is Valentine's Day, and you'll see those decorations in Walmart and places like that where they get ahead of everything. Cracker Barrel, I think, does that too. They're actually blending the holidays together. But I did want to put out a sweater for Valentine's Day, or some kind of accessory. I don't know, it might be a shawl or something. But I wanted to show you this because I received 2 of these, and one will be in a giveaway probably in a couple of weeks. Next week, I might take the week off. I'm not really sure. I'm going to be traveling for our Christmas holiday celebration for our family on Christmas Day, and I might just need a break and a rest from doing videos. I might not. I might jump back on here. But on Monday, we'll have a special Christmas present for my community. And if you haven't joined the community, go down in the description box, click the link and join the community. It's free. And I'm going to give away a Christmas present on Monday. So if you have any friends that you want to share this with, just tell them to join up on the community. And on Monday, I will be sending out a Christmas present to all my On the Hook community friends. And I'm just excited to be able to do it. It's a brand new pattern, and it's not real fancy or anything, but it is something that I created so that I could give it away at Christmas. So Monday seems like a pretty good day for that. And if you're having any time after Christmas, like during the downtime, after the celebration of Christmas Day, then you can grab some yarn and make one of these. It's not hard, and it doesn't take a lot of yarn either, about 200 yards. And a number 4, and I did a combo one. I did a couple of these, and I want to show them to you on Monday. So I'll be sending that out to all the community. So be sure to join up if you haven't already joined the community, and you will receive that particular pattern. And then I will put it out on Etsy probably the next day, or even on Monday I'll put it out there. And for those who just happen to find me on Etsy, they can purchase the pattern. But for my community, it will be free, and it'll be a present from me to you. So just wanted to let you know that. Be sure you join up if you haven't already done so. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will be playing symphony this weekend. I will be back tomorrow to announce the 3 gift recipients for the free patterns that I'm giving away this week. So you can shop on Etsy and can decide which pattern you'd like to have. And if I draw your name, then you'll be able to get that pattern for free from me as a gift. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day today, and join me tomorrow when we talk about what's on the hook.